No, ma'am. Pull over. I had to fill out a form, an IOU to the state of New York for 10 cents. I'll never, and guess what? We missed where they went. So we went back and had the hot chocolate and donuts before they did. So it all worked out well. But memories like this flood my mind when I think of my family, my heritage, and the wonderful memories that we had. But I thank God for the godly heritage that we have from our grandparents and now our parents. And I was sharing with somebody when this generation starts to die off, we're the old guys. Me and Bruce and Lance. And now we're the old people that you guys are looking up to like, wow. Wow, one day I'll get old like them. That's me. And it's kind of a weird feeling to think that we have a legacy to pass on to the next generation. And I think of Esther, how I'm going to get crying on this one, but how you always, like my mom, always saw the best in people. I've never heard you complain. I've never heard you point a finger. I never heard you say something the slightest way that, even though someone was wrong, you never blamed them or your problems weren't someone else's fault. It was just, well, let's just get through this. You had a positive attitude. Isn't that true? Yeah. Never did that. And I'm so grateful for that role model because sometimes I got to catch myself and say, Lord, hold my tongue. If there's something I have to say that's not positive, let me just bring it to you. And God was so faithful to have an aunt like Esther and my mom who were just so gracious and kind. And always, and even when the kids messed up, my brothers and sisters did, but I was okay. But she would never lash out and get angry, except one time. I'm sitting at the counter at 7th Avenue, and I was annoying. I have to believe that. But she was making dinner and busy, 6 kids in the house, and I had the spoons and my forks, and I was playing the drums on the plates. And my mom was going, would you stop that, Ronnie? I go, if you do that one more time, I'm going to crack this plate over your head. I thought for about 3 seconds, and my mom comes over to me with a plate, and she goes, boom, and she actually hit my head, and it shattered all over the kitchen floor. And I'm like, she really did. And my mom went, oh, I'm so sorry, okay. I mean, it was like, it was hysterical afterwards, but it was so funny. My mom apologized up and down because she just wanted to scare me, not really crack it over my head. But you know what? I deserved it. I didn't learn too many lessons from that, but it was a story. It is true. But again, I thank God for the men and women that's gone before in my family that have held their head high and lived righteously and passed the generation. And that's why I look at all your children and their children. And I look at you guys and I see so many of you that are so hungry for God and so living so right, and your spouses and your families. And you know what the Bible says? He'll be faithful from generation to generation. Guess what? I'm looking at it. And there's my daughter and my granddaughters. You see, God is so good. God is so good. And we laid to rest one of the last of my uncles that I just absolutely respected in every way. But his legacy continues from generation to generation. But it all happens when we all come to a personal relationship with Jesus. You know, you can't rely on Gordon's faith, on Esther's faith, or your parents' faith. It's got to be your faith. And my prayers for all my children. In Belize, I have 7 children still in the house, not biologically, but we've taken in kids that don't have a family to love them. And I think of how I was loved. And I said, Lord, if you put that child in my house, I will be daddy to them forever. And I've had to make big mistakes like getting pregnant and failing. And in my heart, I was so angry. And I wanted to put him away. But I eventually had to come back and apologize for my feelings toward them. And one of those little girls that was a result of a rape, the mom came to me when she was 9 months old, us, my wife and I. I said, I can't raise her. I just can't provide for her. Would you keep her? My little Amani is 7 years old. And now I have our little brother who's 4. And we're old. But we're still mommy and daddy.
That's right.
When I walk my girls down the aisle, I'll be like 78.